howled through the narrow streets of Portland, Oregon, as James unlocked the front door of their Craftsman bungalow. It was a blustery Saturday in December, the kind that painted the sky gray and kept people indoors. He'd been married to Sophie for 11 years, a relationship stitched together with quiet mornings and shared silences. He was a violinist with the City Symphony, her music filling their home with haunting melodies, while James, a freelance journalist, chased stories that rarely made the front page. They were comfortable content, or so he'd convinced himself. Before we jump in, real quick, most of you who enjoy these videos still haven't subscribed. If you're one of them, please take a second to hit that button. It helps with channel growth so much and means more than you know. And if you're already subscribed, thank you. Now, let's begin. Sophie was supposed to be at rehearsal all day, a holiday concert looming. She left early, her dark curls bouncing as she kissed him goodbye, her violin case slung over her shoulder. "See you tonight," she'd said, her blue eyes bright. James had nodded, settling into his office with a coffee and a half-written article about urban decay. But by noon, the house felt too still. He texted her, "How's it going?" and got no reply. Odd, but not alarming. She often silenced her phone during practice. By 4 p.m., with no word, he called. Voicemail. Her voice, lilting and warm, promised a callback. He shrugged it off, blaming the storm for spotty service. But when dusk fell and the streetlights buzzed to life, a knot tightened in his gut. He drove to the concert hall, a grand old building downtown. The parking lot was half empty. Rehearsal had ended hours ago, a janitor told him. Sophie's red hatchback was nowhere in sight. He called her again, then her friend Clara, another violinist. "She left around 1, Clara said, puzzled. "Said she had an errand. Didn't she tell you?" James mumbled a thanks and hung up, the knot now a fist. He drove home, the wipers slashing through the rain, his mind churning. When Sophie walked in at 8:17 p.m., soaked and breathless, she offered a tired smile. "Traffic was a nightmare," she said, shedding her coat. Phone died. "You were done at 1, James said, watching her freeze mid-step. He recovered fast. "I stopped by the music store, needed strings. Then the rain hit." She brushed past him, heading upstairs. He caught a scent, something woody, musky, not her usual lavender. He stood there, staring at her muddy boots by the door, doubt creeping in like damp rot. Next few weeks were a slow unraveling. Sophie grew distant, her smiles forced. She'd vanish for hours, errands, she claimed, or extra practice. Her phone, once left carelessly on the counter, now stayed glued to her hand. One night, he found a crumpled ticket stub in her coat pocket, a jazz club, dated a Tuesday. She'd said she was with Clara. Clara hadn't mentioned jazz. James didn't ask. He watched. He started small, testing the waters. He asked casual questions, "How's the concert prep?" and note her hesitations. He checked her violin case once, finding a folded note tucked under the rosin. "Meet me at 7. His chest tightened, but he put it back, saying nothing. Then came the night that shattered his restraint. It was a Thursday, the air sharp with frost. Sophie said she was meeting a conductor friend for coffee, a last-minute thing. James nodded, then tailed her. She didn't go to the cafe she'd named. Instead, her car wound through the city to a loft district, parking outside a converted warehouse. Through a fogged window, he saw her coat off, her arms around a man with sandy hair and a lopsided grin. They danced, slow and close, to music James couldn't hear. He gripped the steering wheel until his knuckles whitened, then drove home. She returned at midnight, humming softly. "Good meeting?" he asked, voice flat. "Great," she said, oblivious. "He's brilliant." She climbed into bed, and James lay awake. The image of her dancing burned into his skull. Didn't want to fight, didn't want to lose her. He wanted to understand. So he turned their life into a puzzle, piece by painstaking piece. He planted a voice recorder in her purse, a tiny thing he'd used for interviews. He hacked her email, finding a locked account she'd never mentioned. The recorder caught whispers, "I need you," he does suspect, and the email revealed a name, Liam, a jazz pianist she'd met at a festival last spring. Their affair was a tapestry of stolen moments, clubs, late-night drives, a hotel 2 towns over. The deeper James dug, the stranger it grew. Liam wasn't just a fling. The recorder picked up fragments. It's set for the 20th. She'll never trace it. Sophie's emails mentioned a package and a drop. James's journalist instincts flared. Was she caught in something bigger? He followed her again, this time to appear at dawn. She met Liam, handing him a small case, not her violin, but something heavier. They spoke in hushed tones, then parted. James tailed Liam to a pawn shop, watching him emerge empty-handed. He broke into the shop that night, a reckless move fueled by desperation. Behind the counter, he found the case inside, a mirror, ornate and old, its frame etched with runes. A tag read, $75 K, buyer TBD. His stomach dropped. Sophie wasn't just cheating, she was trafficking antiques, using Liam as her fence. The betrayal was a double-edged blade. Love was one wound, this was another. He spent days piecing it together, cross-referencing her movements with news of stolen artifacts. The mirror matched a piece missing from a private collection in Vancouver, reported gone 6 months ago, right when she'd met Liam. Other emails hinted at more. A vase, a necklace, a ledger of deals stretching back months. James didn't confront her outright. He built a trap. He fed Liam fake intel through a burner phone, posing as a buyer. He tipped off a customs agent about a shipment at the pier, timing it with Sophie's next drop. On December 20th, he watched from a distance as feds swarmed the dock, catching Liam with a statue, another stolen piece. Sophie wasn't there. She'd stayed home, claiming a headache. But her name was in Liam's phone, and the net tightened. She came clean that night, after the news broke. They sat in the living room, the wind rattling the windows. "I didn't want this," she said, tears streaking her face. Liam said it was easy money, fixing up old things, selling them. Then it got big. "And me?" James asked, his voice a whisper. "I thought I could keep you out of it," she said. "I was wrong." Didn't shout, didn't leave. He called a lawyer, not for divorce, but to shield himself. Sophie cooperated with the feds, numbing Liam's contacts to lighten her sentence. She got probation, community service, her music career in tatters. They stayed together, a fragile truce. She sold her violin, took a job at a cafe. James wrote his article about artifact theft, not her pouring his rage into ink. Sometimes, he'd find her staring at the wall where her violin once hung, her silence louder than any melody. He wondered if she mourned Liam, the thrill, or the woman she'd been. He didn't ask. Some truths he'd learned were mirrors too cracked to reflect anything whole.